April 28th is a big day for Canada as it is our next Canadian election. And regardless of the way that you're going to vote, one of the main things on all of the platforms is going to be talking about housing, as the housing crisis has become, a huge, huge issue, a pressing issue within this current generation. Home prices have been on the rise, rental prices are getting out of reach, homelessness is also on the rise, a huge lack of supply of housing across the country. So, regardless of the way that you're going to vote, housing is going to be, a certain component of it. Obviously, it's not the whole piece. There's a lot that goes into the way you're going to vote. So, in this video, I'm going to talk purely about the housing platforms of the Conservatives, the Liberals, and the NDP. I'm going to keep my own opinion out of it. This is purely a video based on getting you the information that you should have. So I'm just going to talk about the main points of all these housing platforms. And then it's up to you to decide which one is best. And again, it's not to say you should vote purely on housing. There's a lot that goes into it, but this is a real estate channel. So I'm not going to talk about any of the other aspects. And again, I'm going to go through these in alphabetical order. The order has nothing to do with my opinion. It doesn't matter what my opinion is. Again, this is just to get you the facts, and we're going to leave opinion completely out of this one. All right, so let's start off with the conservative platform. Again, I'm going in alphabetical order here. I have it up on the screen here. I'm just going to kind of burn through these and add a little bit more detail as we go. So, number one, GST is going to be waived on all newly built homes priced under $1.3 million for all buyers. This is important because when we get to the liberal section shortly, they are doing something that is quite similar. So, this one is GST waived all new homes, any buyer, not just first time home buyers, and up to 1.3 million. Number two, they're going to make it more attractive for municipalities to free up land, speed up permits, and cut development charges to build more homes. As you know, we have a huge supply issue, so building more homes is a huge part of a lot of these platforms. Three, they've pledged to speed up training and boost job prospects for trade workers. This is a huge reason that the home building process is slow right now, is because we have a huge lack of skilled labor across the country, especially here in Halifax, where I'm filming this video. Number four, they're going to waive capital gains tax on any proceeds that are reinvested in Canada. This is a big one because this may affect how people look at investing in Canada as a whole if they can avoid capital gains, if they reinvest that money back into Canada. Number five, they're tying federal funding to cities to the number of housing starts. So there was a little bit more detail with this within the platforms. And basically, a lot of what the conservatives are going to be doing is geared towards a certain, goalpost. So the goalpost is we're going to build X number of homes. And if you do that, we'll make it, that you're going to get more funding, things like this. So a certain goal. And if they hit that target, then they're going to get more funding, is the general consensus. So there's going to be bonuses tied to municipalities that surpass building targets. So within their platform, it talks about once they have a certain target, then the goal is going to be to increase that by 15% year over year. And if they do that, then they're going to get bonuses in terms of the funding that they're getting from the feds. For every dollar of development taxes cut, by a municipality, for example, the conservative led government would match that amount to a maximum of $25,000 per home for a total savings of up to $50,000. So basically, they're saying if you cut some development charges and make it easier for people to build, then we are going to chip in as well and help to try to drive that price down. And number eight, they're selling off 15% of federally owned buildings so the land can be used to build more affordable homes. So there's a little bit more in there in general. This is kind of like the main points that I took from it. So let's move on to the liberals. So similar to the conservatives, they're going to waive GST on homes sold, but only up to a million, and the homes must be sold to first-time home buyers. So very similar. The conservatives was GST waived on homes up to 1.3 million for all buyers. The liberals are saying GST waived up to a million for first-time home buyers. The Liberals plan to double the pace of home building and construct 500,000 units a year in Canada over the next decade. Now, I will say that, keeping my opinion out of it aside, that's a big number. We're talking, I think it worked out to 1,367 homes per day. And that's if you build 365 days a year across the country. So that is a very, very lofty goal, is all I will say. Number three, new housing agency called Build Canada Homes would bring the federal government into the business of building homes. This agency would oversee 35 billion in funding to streamline the construction of affordable homes and provide financing for home builders. So they talk a lot about prefab homes and plans that are already pre-approved and stuff like this. This is basically kind of what happened after the Second World War when they got into building a lot of prefab homes across the country. So yeah, very similar to what they were doing back then. Number four, they're going to look to have development charges at the local level, a matter of municipal jurisdiction. So that one is kind of open ended. They didn't talk a lot about how they're going to do it. They just said that they were going to look to do this. Number five, so they're going to look to invest almost 74 million to improve critical housing infrastructure, speed up housing development, and help meet the growing demand for affordable housing in the north. So some things are, pretty much the same as the conservative platform in some ways, and then in some other ways they're not. And the liberals are planning to get back into building homes like they did after the Second World War. And now we're going to talk about the NDP. So, NDP's plan, they're going to expand CMHC's mandate to include offering long term, low interest mortgages to first time homebuyers. Now, I will say the Liberals just did something similar to this when they increased the overall amortization that you could have from 25 years to 30 years on a default insured mortgage. The NDP plan to ban corporations from buying affordable rental housing and stop corporate landlords who gouge their tenants from getting things like low interest federal loans, preferential tax treatment, and mortgage loan insurance. So, the big bad landlord, I guess, is what they're looking at here. Number three, boost the rental protection fund to help nonprofits buy more affordable apartments. Number four, they're setting aside $1 billion over 5 years to acquire more public land for rent-controlled housing construction. Obviously, we know it's no secret that the NDPs are big on rent control as a general statement. And where I'm at in Halifax filming this video, we do have rent control in our province, even though we are a conservative province at the moment. Number five, they're going to plan to tie federal housing funding for provinces and municipalities to tenant protection policies like rent control. So, again, with more rent control. Number six, they're promising to train 100,000 more skilled workers in the skilled trades. So the Conservatives had a similar thing in their plan saying that we need more skilled workers, and that is part of their housing platform. So this is great. We need more skilled trades. Number seven, 3 million affordable homes are going to be built in the next 5 years. It didn't say a whole lot else of how they were going to do this. It just said that is their goalpost of what they're trying to do. So affordable housing is a big part of their plan, obviously. And number eight, they're going to set aside all suitable Crown land to build more than 100,000 rent-controlled homes by 2035. So there you have it. Those are the three main housing platforms of the candidates for the election on the 28th. I'm curious to hear what you think in the comments below. Which plan do you feel is best? I will link something in the description to kind of take you to a place where you can see more about their different plans. But overall, there's some similarities within the three plans, and there's some big differences as per usual. So again, with this video, I'm not going to give my opinion. It doesn't matter. I'm one vote of however many million. But I'm curious to hear what you think in the comments below in general. And I hope you found this video helpful. And I hope that everybody gets out and votes. And obviously, housing is just one part of it, but we're a real estate channel here. So that's kind of the info that you need to take from it. And if you got any value from this video, all I ask is you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of my future content. And that way I'll help keep you, informed on what's happening in Halifax, Nova Scotia, and Canadian real estate moving forward. But make sure you get out and vote on April 28th if you haven't already. And we'll see you next time. Thank you so much for watching.